It's a bantamweight battle for the title in New Jersey. Dan Tom here with MMA Junkie to help you break down the main event for UFC 288 between Aljamain Sterling and Henry Cejudo. Cejudo, of course, never lost the title in the octagon, but he's going to be looking to get that back. He's the former double champion at flyweight, of course, and at bantamweight, but we've not seen him since UFC 249 in May of 2020 when he defeated the great Dominic Cruz. He'll be taking on the sitting champion, which is Aljamain Sterling, who has won 8 in a row since his last loss to Marlon Moraes, and he's going to look to also try to cement himself in those bantamweight, or amongst the bantamweight greats, if you will. At the time of this video, the odds makers and public are considering this a really tightly contested affair. We've got the sitting champ, Aljamain Sterling, at minus 105 despite opening as the favorite, whereas money is coming in on Henry Cejudo, the challenger, in the neighborhood of minus 115. Now, seeing this fight kind of close and get closer makes more sense to me. We can argue and split hairs about who should be favored, probably the sitting champ Sterling like it opened, but I can also see why money is coming in on Cejudo. Cejudo has been injured. He's kind of had the drop foot. We've seen him come off of layoffs and shoulder surgeries before. We've seen him come off of bad first rounds where he's coming into a fight with an injury, and he still kind of surpassed all these tests. Now, we could poke holes in his resume as well as Sterling, which is a bit unfair, and we can say, well, stoppages were a bit early for Cejudo. Did he really beat Johnson? Or, Sterling, he won the title by disqualification. Second fight with Jan, much closer than we thought, and, he beat an injured man in Dillashaw. You could play those games on both sides all day. Not really fair to the fighters. I suggest leaving room to be surprised. I think Sterling obviously is the human backpack, but I think that his elbows, slicing elbows, especially on prior cuts of Cejudo, or knees to the shorter stature and level-changing wrestle boxing tendencies of Cejudo, I think will be very valuable for Sterling. But outside of those moments, back takes, or those moments on the feet, I feel like Cejudo can do a pretty well job here and score some points consistently with kicks of his own, albeit his kicking defense have been, I guess a problem for him. He's ended up winning these fights, so I don't know how much of a problem, but the point is, Cejudo can kick himself. I think that's going to be something to look for, as well as the wrestling defense and potential offense. I think we saw a real competitive fight, granted a while ago, with Cody Stamann, that is, against Aljamain Sterling. Similar build, wrestle boxing, kind of similar stylistic frame. Of course, Stamann got hurt in that fight. We'll see how Cejudo does, especially off the layoff, but I am sensing a competitive fight either way that goes the distance. For more details on each man's path to victory, check out my in-depth breakdown on MMAJunkie.com, but for the video right now, I'm going to go with Cejudo via decision.